Alright, so with the parts that I'm replacing will be this corner light, this headlight, and this corner light, and I'll probably take this off, shine this up a little bit, maybe repaint this, just give it a nice fresh look. I think it'll put a bunch of years back onto this. I'll also buff these out and polish them a little bit. I've done that on some other stuff and it really makes a big difference. These are not in perfect shape, but they look much better than the ones that are on there, so I'm pretty happy with it. These headlights are going to be a huge upgrade as well. I'll give these a little polish and we'll be good. Bodie.
I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust.
Alright. So this is one of my favorite parts of a new project, is just tearing into it and finding out all of the half-assed stuff that's been done to it. So this had an alarm system in, and I guess the corner lights flashed with the alarm system. You look at this wire, follow it all the way back to here where I cut it when I removed the alarm system. And it's so satisfying when you take something like this and remove it. It's like removing a thorn from the paw of a foster animal. It's okay, they can't hurt you anymore. Alright, so I will have to come back and tape this up, but that feels so good. I like to throw it in a pile of, I don't know, I call them PO nuggets, although the previous owner of this truck is a very good friend of mine, so I know it wasn't him. But someone along the line probably took it to some shop down in the valley that does car stereo installs at a budget or whatever, and this is the result.
We'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun.
Alright, so this happens a lot in old rusty cars, but if you could see this last mount, you can hear Robsy in the background, digital Robsy. This little guy right here is about to break. You can kind of feel it, so I'm just going to take it easy, go back and forth, loosen it, tighten it, try to break those threads free, and try my best. If we break it, no big deal, drill it out and tap it, but we're not to.
Through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Alright, so these are all the new parts. Old parts are off. Right there. Well, not all new, but you know. So I'm having to use a lot of restraint to keep myself from wanting everything to look brand new. But I'm basically just going to clean all these up and give them a little polish and see if I can just pretty them up a little bit. I'm going back and forth between painting this, and I think I'm going to leave it. See what it looks like when it's cleaned up, but yeah, try not to go too overboard here. Plan is to get this done in about a day's work, so I still have all the mechanical stuff to do. So alright, so wipe these down, and I'm going to use some rubbing compound on the lenses and some all metal polish for the little fake metal trim cladded, I guess, bits. And we'll see how all this turns out. I guess this is the before shot. Oh yeah, one other thing. So I think these are from a 94 and mine's a 91. These are the old connectors. You can see that they're different, so basically just gonna swap those out as well. Alright, so here's where we're at. Everything's off. I had to go buy some new high beam bulbs. One of them was out, so I just picked up a new set. Another $23 off the budget. So I didn't have to take this part out, but I snapped this bolt, removing the headlights right there, and I needed to take that out so I can get a drill in there to drill that out, retap it, and then have all the headlight bolts working. And then another thing is that these little guys go here. 3 of them are broken because these are plastic with a captive metal nut inside of them. Kind of a weird... I've never seen these out of plastic. They're usually like really small and made of steel. So what I'm gonna do is use some rivnuts instead when I reinstall. So these are like little rivets, and they have threads on the inside. So you put them in here, and then you crimp it down with this special tool, and then you have a captive nut. So first I'm going to draw this hole, or this bolt, and then I'm going to hopefully get it pretty dead on, and if I'm lucky, the bolt will back itself out while I'm drilling with the heat and stuff, but probably not. So then I'll probably retap it, and then we'll be good to go. Start reassembling. Here's the after. The rubbing compound didn't do much really, but it all looks relatively clean, I guess. A little old, but you know, it's an old truck. It's got some miles on it. Whatever. Alright, here we go. First step, safety, because I'm going to be using a drill. Second, I'm going to start with the bigger drill bit so I can hopefully get a nice center. And then I can then go to the smaller drill bits and kind of work my way up until I get hopefully, like I said, it's going to fall out, but until I get to the adequate size, and then basically until the tap drill size comes around, and then we'll be ready. Alright, here we go. So yeah, once you get the first one in there, it gets a lot easier. Then you can just graduate to slightly larger drill bits, and then it doesn't have to go through solid metal. It's just kind of cutting around the outside, which is what drill bits love. So okay, so this is where I get out my trusty tap drill chart. So this is an M6 hole, which means I need a 5mm diameter tap drill, which converted to standard, since I don't have metric drill bits, 1364 should do it. And looks like I got pretty lucky. because it's able to drill it out. So now I'll just take this tap and thread it in there. Make sure these threads are nice and clean. And then I should be able to just reuse this hole. All right. It's gonna be a little looser than it was before, but overall pretty happy with these results. And there you have a sort of good reconditioned thread. All right. So anyways, this is a rivnut tool. The way it works, you get one of the rivnuts, which I showed you earlier. You extend the arms, and then you just thread it on there, button it up. And then put it where you want it to go. Bring it from this side. And when you squeeze these arms, it pulls it in and crushes the rivnut, which attaches it. Then this one's cool because you can pull this out theoretically. Now you have a nice and tight captive nut. You can do that pretty cool. Yeah. That's probably good. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So you're replacing existing captive nuts?
I showed them already, but
You have to like drill
so
them
I'm
out or
basically
something?
replacing these, which are just plastic. They would clip around this little tab, and it would basically achieve the same thing, but
But they're just plastic.
well, I broke one bolt and then I broke the other two, so plastic's not bad, but when it gets, you know, around the 25-year mark, I've had a few of these. This Tack Life one, got on Amazon. Probably my favorite one so far because of this feature as well. You pull this lever,
And it unthreads the captive nut on the other end.
and
So
also
otherwise you gotta like twist the whole
some
the
of the
whole
other
mechanism.
ones, they're like a squeeze, kind of like a wrench setup, and it's
Yeah.
harder to get them centered. This one does a really good job. It's a little more pricey. I mean, I think it was like $45, but not including that in the budget price. Tools are free. Everyone knows that.
Makes the job a lot easier.
Oh, for sure. Faster too. Just gotta be careful not to bend your sweet fender. But yeah, so now I should be able to attach that thing back and put everything together. Fixed all my broken bolt mistakes, and it's gonna look exactly like it did before, but more functional. All right, it's a new day. I got the front all back together. New headlights. Everything works except for the corner lights. I'm gonna check those bulbs. I don't know if they worked before, so